Documentary film is a non-fictional motion picture intended to document some aspect of reality, primarily for the purposes of instruction or maintaining a historical record. Local filmmaker is shining light on intellectual disabilities by relieving fears and raising expectations. Her story and the story of the film and its cast members is coming up on Polk Place. Welcome to Polk Place. I'm your host, Jeremy Morady, and here with me today is Kirsty Mutz, who's the founder and executive director for People Like Us, and Lauren Madawa, who is a documentary cast member for People Like Us, and Ryder Madawa, who is a documentary cast member for People Like Us. All right, thank you guys so much for coming in. Sure to appreciate having you in here.
Thanks for having me.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about the documentary, People Like Us, and what you guys created there, and kind of a little bit of what you're going into now after the release of the film.
Cool.
So Kirsty, if you'd like to take it off.
Yeah, we're really excited about how well Polk County received the documentary. It started 3 years ago. I began to do research in my undergrad about society's expectations for individuals with disabilities and their response and the best way to advocate for them. And the best way to advocate for people with disabilities really is just letting people who have disabilities advocate for themselves and have a platform to speak. And so that's what we did through the documentary. And I got to meet these two incredible people. And there are 6 people in the documentary, one of which is my younger sister. My desire to do a documentary really did start just as a little girl watching my sister be rejected because she had Down syndrome. And I think that it just dawned on me people did that because they don't understand. And so I just wanted to help people understand. So my sister, Lauren, Ryder, and a few others, we just put together some of our thoughts in a film and invited Polk County out. And on March 22nd of this year, we packed out the Polk Theater, had a beautiful premiere. They looked great. And since then, we are now offering programs where we go into schools to do anti-bullying assemblies. We go to businesses to do inclusion training. And we go to different clubs and groups and just talk about how there's such a deeper resilience in all of us and how we can better include people that are different than us.
Well, if you can, talk a little bit about, in the documentary, how you guys follow the 6 folks around, and then really kind of looking at then how you're using that to do these educational type situations.
In my research, I found that people need understanding and contact in order to transform their negative attitudes into positive mindsets. So the documentary, following them around, is really just a way to give people information and understanding along with vicarious contact coming into their lives, coming into their world, seeing what life is like on a daily basis. And that really does relieve so many fears for parents, for people that are going to have people with disabilities in their lives. Just seeing the day-to-day things really has been helpful for our audiences in understanding and not having so much of a negative mindset.
What was it like for you guys being in the documentary?
It was cool because growing up, we never really had many friends because we were always used as the oddballs. And when we were in school, and the few friends we had were mainly only our friends because they got something out of it. And that as we grew older, we kind of began to realize that. And so we started hanging out more with people that were like us.
Okay.
More than people that were so-called normal.
Yeah. I don't really think there is a normal out there. And Ryder, can you tell us a little bit about, just your experience in the film and what it's done?
My experience is if people then you have something, and it's like they might treat you right, but they don't know what you have. Then you try to tell them. And other people like us, if we tell them what we have, they understand. But the other people don't understand what we have.
It's hard having that perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very hard for other people. We try to tell them, like, oh, we have heartburn disease. It's like, oh, you have asthma. Like, no, I just have lung
Issues.
issues.
And what was it like to making the documentary?
It was
What,
awesome.
do people ever recognize you? Can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, now since the documentary was released, Ryder and I are getting recognized by people that we don't even know.
You have a whole new fan base now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much.
We now just moved to our new apartments, and Bad News 9 came to interview us about what they want to see. We show our house, and one of the people that was interviewing people, I came and he said, I know you. You're from that documentary. People like us, like, yes, I am.
So they have the newscasters recognizing
Yeah.
them. Brittany works at Public. She says that when she checks people out and she's helping them, they always recognize her.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
Well, it's wonderful to have that kind of recognition there, and also to have that realization of what comes from, you know, the documentary and opening that world up to other folks. And you're using that now to get to other folks to help with, you know, the training and understanding of, you know, what they have to go through, almost kind of putting them in their shoes. Can you talk a little bit about, you know, what that program's about and how you guys do that?
So we have 4 different program options, and they're all available in detail on the website, peoplelikeusdoc.com. But we decided to do programs because the night of the premiere was so full, and so many people still wanted to either talk more about what the film was about or see the film because they weren't able to. So we decided, okay, well, we'll create programs that hone in on specific things so that we can continue these conversations, because in order to bring understanding, you really just have to give people that information and contact like I researched. And so we do that through programs. We go to schools, and there's a lot of discussion about anti-bullying and inclusion. Businesses a lot of times are unaware of the incentives they can have for hiring people with disabilities and how to engage customers with disabilities, so we like to talk about that. Clubs, my favorite is working with clubs because it's not talking so much about how to implement people with disabilities in our society, but it's focusing more on how can we use them as models to inspire the way that we function. And the amount of resilience that people with disabilities have, the way that Lauren and Ryder have completely inspired my life, I think more people can benefit from that. And so that's one of my favorite programs, to just go through and to look at their lives and look at the way that they inspire us and discover, okay, we have more in us, our organization has more in us, our club can reach a higher standard, and using that as inspiration to move forward.
Wonderful. Well, right now, where is that taking you?
So right now, this week, we've been talking with people. Yesterday, there was a group in Washington that just booked People Like Us, and they are a group, a nonprofit that trains volunteers that serve over 10,000 hours during the summer, and they serve a lot of nonprofits of people with disabilities. So they're using the film to train their different volunteers and to help their volunteers to understand. In South Carolina, there's an opportunity to do a program that we've been talking with this week to talk about inclusion in churches and how churches can open and have a better understanding for people with disabilities. We just got to go to China, and in China, they have it to a whole nother degree. So people with disabilities are often just left on the street and die. But occasionally some of them do find their way into the government orphanage. And so we just got to go up to China, and they're opening a home where they can take care of different kids with disabilities long enough for them to get adopted so that they don't die, because the stereotypes are very, very severe. There's opportunities. It's being translated in Spanish. It's being translated in Italian and French. So lots of different opportunities are opening, both locally, nationally, and internationally. But we have such a special place in our heart for Polk County because it's where we've begun. So it's really exciting to be able to offer programs to people in Polk County.
That sounds wonderful. And I know it's doing a lot of wonderful work too. So thank you guys.
Of course.
Well, thank you also for coming in and sharing your story with us. People like us began with a simple situation, sisters learning to get along. Experienced the story of a girl who was told she couldn't, eventually did, and inspired a program for others to belong. The People Like Us documentary follows 6 individuals with varying abilities through a local theater program, inspiring you to uncover your identity and discover your resilience. By contributing to People Like Us, you enable individuals with intellectual disabilities to be empowered, understood, and engaged. Your tax-deductible gifts fund the development of society's attitudes toward these underestimated individuals through anti-bullying school campaigns, inclusive business training, curriculum, and empowering theater program development. For more information, you can check them out on the web at www.peoplelikeusdoc.com or give them a call at 973-570-7670.